What's up, beer tasters? Dani here, and today, let's talk about pumpkin ale. So whether you love pumpkin ale or you completely despise it, you should still have an appreciation for it because pumpkin ale is one of the very few beer styles out there that we can call truly American. So pumpkins actually originate in America, and before our country was even a country and all these colonists were coming over from Europe, there were just pumpkin patches wild everywhere. So since pumpkins were like readily available, nobody really liked them. It was kind of something that we just used for livestock feed or for jack-o'-lanterns, and they really weren't used too much in cooking. However, hopefully you know that beer was super important to the colonists because it was safer to drink than water. So when there was a really bad harvest, or if we didn't have access to the barley or wheat or whatever we were using to make our beer, if there was a bad harvest for that year, people would substitute pumpkins to make the beer. So it was kind of like a last resort thing, making a pumpkin ale out of pumpkin because they would have preferred to make it out of grain. However, they still had it as an option. But as time went on, grains and other ingredients to make beers became widely available. It wasn't really an issue anymore. So the pumpkin ale style got phased out because people weren't using pumpkins in their beers anymore, and the style eventually went extinct. Fast forward to the mid-1980s, which, let's be honest, craft beer really wasn't a thing yet back then, or nobody was really paying attention to it. But Bill Owens of Buffalo Bill's Brewery heard a story that George Washington used to make his own pumpkin ale. So this inspired Bill to make his own, and he made it just like they did in the old days. And, he wasn't really satisfied with the outcome, so he decided to add a bunch of pumpkin pie spices to make his beer taste more like fall. So therefore, he pretty much created the modern interpretation of pumpkin ale. Other breweries followed him, and now today we have a ton of different options out there when it comes to pumpkin beer. Maybe a little bit too much. So yeah, there's a ton of different styles of pumpkin ale out there today. There's no specific way that you need to make pumpkin ale. A lot of people might use pumpkin puree or pumpkin guts, or they might bake the pumpkin first. They might add spices, they might not. So there's a lot of different options we have out there when it comes to the style of pumpkin ale. One of my favorites that I happen to be drinking today is the Dogfish Head Pumpkin Ale, named after the pumpkin chunking contest that is held every year in southern Delaware. If you've been to that, please let me know because it sounds really cool. And I think the Dogfish Head is a really good in-betweener for pumpkin ales because sometimes you might get pumpkin ales that are really sweet and dessert-like. They taste straight up like pumpkin pie, which I do love, by the way. And then there's other beer styles that might just be more pumpkin-focused without those spices. I think this is a very pumpkin-focused beer, but has a little bit of that spice going on in it to just, give you that nuance of fall. Let me know what kind of pumpkin ale you've enjoyed this season, and if you're watching this, in late October or November, they actually might be gone already. Pumpkin ale usually comes out in end of August, which is crazy, but usually they're off of the store shelves by October, so get them now while you can, and if you missed out, you can get them next year. And if you absolutely despise pumpkin ale, I totally get it. I feel like we've been really bombarded with this category in the last few years, and a lot of people are actually not caring for pumpkin ale anymore because they're just sick of them. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about that as well. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and learning about pumpkin ale. I think it's such a cool story. And if you want to keep learning about beer with me in the future, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can keep up to date with all my future videos. I'll see you next time, guys. Cheers.